Thank you, trustee. So, as relates to me spending my money, I've always spent my own money for events. As relates to certain things that certain people do that actually live in the village of Dolton and might do an event, now they do get paid sometimes from the village funds. But if you will pay attention, since y'all know everything, I get a lot of things donated to the village of Dolton. So a lot of the money come from sponsorships, myself, and also the village of Dolton, depending on what the item is. As it relates to you saying you swipe your card wherever you go, then you swipe your card for your hotel room. And that way you don't have to worry about us reimbursing anything because you said once as a trustee, well, you weren't a trustee, let me rephrase. You weren't a trustee, you was a resident, that you guys as trustees should not even get paid. So if I was you, you should give all the money back, the $25,000 that y'all make per year back to the village, since you solely believe that y'all should not get any money for doing the job that you do, which is nothing, right? Yeah, I know. So as it relates to, see?
As relates to, well, as relates to complete hypocrisy, let's take a look back at some of the wild statements the mayor says during this meeting and compare that to what we know that transpired from this point forward. Then we'll see if we can make sense out of the madness. All right, welcome back everybody to the Dolton Chronicles episode 4. This is Carlton Flowers with the Go Political channel, and we've got an exciting one for you tonight. Boy, this is going to be a good one where we'll continue on with the last part of the November 21st meeting in 2021, where we will see the mayor going in on hotel expenses, just ripping on the trustees. And the mayor is cutting them no slack whatsoever. So we're going to see more infighting, more fussing over bills, expenditures, and arguments about supposed donations and grants, and a surprise look back at what started the whole kerfuffle about the MyViewpoint software. All right, so with no further ado, let's jump in, grab your popcorn, kick back, and let's enjoy.
As it relates to your bills that you guys turned in, trustees. And I'll start with trustee Belcher. You turned in a bill for $770.87. You then went a little further and upgraded your hotel room, and you went and ate at Kitty's, and the bill was $54.73. So we're not going to pay for that.
Excuse me, before you start lying again, my email stated that I was only requesting.
Point of order, trustee.
I can't deal
with her today. Please learn Robert rules. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next, we have Allison Keys. Allison, you spent $650 for your hotel room. You don't have any upgrades on your hotel room, but that's how much you spent, $650.40. Next, we have Brittany Norwood. Brittany, you self-park in the garage. You charge $25. And do you have upgrades? You don't have any upgrades in the room. You spent $700.40. Now, when you guys went to the IML, the same stance I still have to this day. We all, well, you guys, because I'm no longer trustee. All trustees get an expense account. At the time of this booking, you guys made $5,000 in your expense account. There's no way that you should not have been able to afford a $200 a night hotel room, especially when it was downtown. I still believe that all trustees should basically pay for their hotel room that's located downtown, and that it should not be paid with taxpayer dollars. As it relates to the $300, I'm going over everything that you add in or taking out. The $300 for, I don't know what's that, for Ed Steve. I don't know what that is. I think I saw that because I think she misplaced it. It came to her. Here it is. Her spam.
You turned in an expense account, upgraded, ate at Kitty's, and even had the nerve to park in a paid garage. Oh, man. So she mentioned that they have expense accounts, asking why they turned in their reimbursements rather than using their expense accounts. Now, as relates to future meetings, do you remember something coming up about that, but in the reverse? How'd you like that mispronouncement of Ed Steves? He's going to get a little triggered later on in the meeting. But anyway, what happened in the future in regard to the mayor's travels? Does anybody remember that?
The FBI also demanding records related to Henyard's travel. WGN Investigates has reported she and her team frequently travel first class and have stayed at high-end hotels. The cost in the past year, more than $102,000. The FBI wants the receipts and to know the purpose.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
She do not handle anything as relates to credit cards. Okay, anyway, in this next clip, we see the mayor busting Ed Steves' chops about a $300 expense for a DJ for tea with the trustees. And she doubles down on denying them the hotel expenses again, telling them that they need to follow protocol and get these things on the warrant list ahead of schedule. Cut to clip.
So you guys said you wanted to pay for a DJ for the trustees at tea with the trustees. I don't understand why we would pay a DJ for $300 when it's not even a event as it relates to community involvement, outdoors, something like that. If it's indoors and it's $300, I don't understand why the trustees didn't want A, get a sponsor, or B, pay for it out of their pockets. And I'm trying to understand what line item would the $300 come out of when you guys always stated that I spent the money as relates to special events. So please explain what line item would the $300 come out of for this DJ that you want to pay. Right. Those are my statements.
Can I be recognized?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead, Trustee Steves.
It can come out the $300 can come out the miscellaneous budget that you spend with all the events that you've been putting on. It can come out that one of them budgets. You know, every event that you don't put on in the village, it is a village event, and it was village residents there. It's tea with the trustees with the residents. It's not something we put on for our own. We ain't a party that we doing for ourselves. Ain't a karaoke night. This is something that we put on for the residents. Since they don't have a voice at the board meeting, so we give them a voice at the tea with the trustees. This is a village event, and can take it out the miscellaneous budget that you pay for every event that you've been doing since you've been elected. See, and since you're over your budget, your affairs budget or your events budget, take it out the money that you've been spending money to do all these events that you're doing. That's where we take the money from.
Okay, so with that being said, if you said I'm over my budget, then how are you taking out any other budget? A, I'm not over any budget. B, when it comes to spending money or anything like that, again, when you guys do not get your way, this is what you do. You amend it to make it make sense for you, to benefit you, the trustees. So what I'm stating is that we're going to follow protocol and formality. It should be across the board. It should not be when it's beneficial to you trustees. So with that being said, amending the warrant list to pay for hotels that I've already said several times we will not pay for because you guys get the expense account is not right. As it relates to the $300, if you follow protocol to put it on the warrant list, it would have gotten paid. But you guys want to amend the warrant list so it can get paid. So that's my response to that. Anyone else?
So, did anybody find it interesting that she was policing a $300 expense for a DJ, considering the expenditures that have gone on since then? I'll let you think about that for a while. Well, anyhow, in this next clip, she's going to continue to tell them that they need to follow protocol and formality across the board. and she tells everybody to get the facts as they bicker back and forth. Well, apparently this message that was originally sent by the trustees for the $300 DJ expense got caught up in the spam folder from the clerk, and it did not make it through to final approval to get on the warrant list. And so as they're arguing about that, check out the confusion and the nonsense argument that results from it, where Ed Steves accuses her of double talk.
She stated that it ended up in her spam because that's how I found out about it. So by then, everything was already out. So that's why, again, why I say that if everybody just communicate, you'll get the facts instead of coming here assuming what it is or that someone's trying to hold you up or not pay someone added to the warrant list. Just like your attorney. I added your attorney to the warrant list, right? And he's making $12,000. So I'm stating that to say that why would I not have added $300 to the warrant list? So that's what happened with the employees. I'm just speaking for her so you'll know what happened.
You're double talking though.
I'm not double talking.
You just said we didn't send it through. Then you just said it went through and it went to spam.
No, I did not. I said that she basically went in her spam. That's what I stated. The person that you sent it to that we're speaking of. And that's how I ended up with it because I asked her why wasn't it on the warrant list.
You didn't say that.
That's how I ended up with the actual
You just said that we didn't go through the proper channels.
No, I'm saying that we got to go through the proper channels right now. No. Listen to what I'm saying. When you send it to her, right, and it didn't end up on the warrant list, by the time she got it, everything was already out when she brought it to my attention, right? So now here we are. What I'm saying to you is if the proper channels is send it to them and they get on the warrant list, like anything else y'all saying gets on the warrant list, that's what I'm saying. Why didn't you do that process? Right now, you amended the warrant list to add your $300 DJ.
It was sent in, like you just admitted. It was sent in. If it went through a spam, that's not on me.
It was. It went through. It was in the wrong thing. That's what I'm saying. So
the first time you said it didn't go in. Now you said
no. I did not. I'm telling you the mistake that was made. So I'm telling you why it wasn't where it was at. So that's all I got to say on that. But that's it. But you put it on there. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. So next to the.
Not about a feeling.
Anybody else?
So let me get this right. She acknowledged that the original request for the $300 was sent in to be put on the warrant list and got caught in the spam folder, but then she turns right around and bashes them for amending the warrant list to include the $300 expense. Sounds like double talk to me. No denying that. Well, in this next clip, Trustee Belcher is going to clap back, and she's been waiting for this. It's been 15, 20, 30 minutes, and she's been waiting to get her back about these hotel expenses. So let's hear what she has to say, and then how she cracks her face and basically accuses the mayor of being a hypocrite. Let's cut the clip.
Can I be recognized?
Go ahead, Trustee.
Okay, so first for clarity and proper communication, when I did send my invoice, inside of the body, it stated that I only requested the money back for my rooms. If I upgrade anything or buy whatever, it came off of my personal credit card. I don't have a problem with that. Also, if we want to talk about credit cards, we seen a Fifth Third that had a hotel stay for $337 at that same hotel for September 26th. So whose bill was that? That because it wasn't, if you saying that you didn't pay for any of ours, who charged the hotel room for September 26th for $337 on the credit card? Also, you're talking about we're having events and we should spend our money. Every event that you've been putting out had your own name on it. It does not have the board of trustees. And you get an expense check just like we get expense check. You're using, since you've already overseeded special events, line item 0112598 that has $140,000 of other miscellaneous funds since you've already exceeded it. So when you start asking us where's the money coming from, it will come out of that same line item 0121598 that you've been spending stuff. So when you tell us that we should be using our expense check, why haven't you used your $3,000 expense check?
Well, all right, girl. Line item 0121598. I don't think I'll ever forget that line item number for the rest of my life. Well, I tell you what, she wasn't done. All right, she was not done. Next, we're going to see Trustee Belcher bust Tiffany's chops about a $25,000 banner, a decorative banner that had to be bought for this ceremony honoring the fire department. $25,000, actually it went over that, like $35,000 for a banner, for a decorative banner. Who do that though? Cut the clip.
Okay, are you done, Trustee?
No, I'm not done. Then
Okay.
there was a
Okay.
charge for $33,000 for the apron on the fire department, in front of the fire department. That line item that they charged only had $25,000 in there. It wasn't, and I understand he sent us an email after the fact when somebody brought it to his attention that it was an emergency and it had to be done. But the sad part is that if we don't even get these communications, we don't know anything about it. It's just like you do. Yeah. And I'm not, whoever department heads is, they do whatever. And it's just like, oh, well, we spent the money now, whatever. So it's unfair to us that you're saying that we're not going through the proper channels, or we're not doing this and we're not doing that. When we get this stuff, it's always after the fact. So when you start talking about what we should be spending, but moving forward, since all these events have your name on them, are you going to be using your expense check? Because I don't care if you pay it or don't pay it. My card swipe wherever I go. But it's just the principle of, for you to get on here and you always saying we grandstanding. That's not fair that we're having events and you have events, but you can charge all of your events and then you questioning something that we did as a community event. So you can write notes, jot down, so whenever you come back with your chitter chatter, I'll be waiting. But thank you so much. I'll release.
I swear to goodness, this is comedy gold. All right, now, you know Tiffany has an answer for everything. She's not just gonna leave it at that and have her face cracked and on the floor to be swept up and discarded. No, she's gonna have an answer. So let's check out what the explanation or excuses or whatever it is that she has to say. And by the way, I think we need to start doing a running count. How many times does she say, as it relates to, in this meeting? Who's going to keep count? Well, let's start counting. Cut the clip.
All right, thank you, Trustee. So, as relates to me spending my money, I've always spent my own money for events. As relates to certain things that certain people do that actually live in the village of Dolton and might do an event. Now, they do get paid sometimes from the village funds. But if you will pay attention, since y'all know everything, I get a lot of things donated to the village of Dolton. So a lot of the money come from sponsorships, myself, and also the village of Dolton, depending on what the item is. As it relates to you saying you swipe your card wherever you go, then you swipe your card for your hotel room. And that way you don't have to worry about us reimbursing anything, because you said once as a trustee, well, you weren't a trustee, let me rephrase. You weren't a trustee, you was a resident, that you guys as trustees should not even get paid. So if I was you, you should give all the money back, the $25,000 that y'all make per year, back to the village, since you solely believe that y'all should not get any money for doing the job that you do, which is nothing, right? Yeah, I know. So as it relates to, see?
As it relates to, see? Oh boy, well that was interesting. So she believes that the trustees should not even get paid. No, they shouldn't be paid. And a lot of the things that she does, well, they come from donations. Right. Well, I'm just going to walk away from that one. But in this next clip, she's going to continue on being very snotty with the trustees and continue to hammer them about not getting paid for hotel rooms and submitting invoices when they should be including those things on the expense account. So let's count on. Cut to clip.
When you had the floor, did I say anything? No, I didn't. So I advise you to be the same way. Thank you. So as it relates to your hotel rooms, I will not be paying anything for anyone's hotel rooms. I've said that several times. I think it's wrong on you to even keep putting up the invoices to get your hotel rooms paid for. You guys make enough money to do nothing to basically pay for a hotel room. So with that being said, I'm gonna leave that where it's at. And as it relates to communication, you stating that you only get things when you're here. That's untrue.
So let's get this right. You guys make enough money to do nothing to basically pay for a hotel room. All right. Well, anyway, she continues on, yammering on a bit more about the hotel expenses. They go back and forth, but let's get on to the next good part. So remember like a year or two ago when the whole big mess came up where Tiffany Henyard cut off all the trustees and the village clerks access to the MyViewpoint software that shows all of the expenditures of the administration? Well, let's have a quick listen way back when in 2021, see what Chris says when Trustee Brown presses him about information that's incorrectly listed in MyViewpoint. Cut the clip.
Chris, can we actually have what comes out that miscellaneous budget? Chris?
I'm sorry, trustee.
Can we have what comes out of that miscellaneous? I know you can't have it today, but can we get a copy of what comes out of that miscellaneous?
All trustees can view what's currently charged to miscellaneous. With the MyViewpoint, you all have access now to see everything that has been charged to that account.
Okay, is it correct? Because from my understanding, speaking to one of the trustees, the information in there is not correct.
To the best of my knowledge, it is.
Okay.
If there's things that are not, then I need to know as to what is incorrect or you guys are thinking that's incorrect.
Okay.
Did you hear that? Did you notice that? So Chris confirmed to the trustees that they can see the information on expenditures that are listed in the MyViewpoint software. This is where all of that bad blood started over MyViewpoint. And it was after this exact time that the mayor got sick of the trustees seeing everything that her administration was spending money on. And now you know the rest of the story, where she cuts off their access from MyViewpoint, which sparked them going to court and getting a judge to demand that they have the ability to review the records. Okay, now, in this next clip, Trustee Ed Steves is going to get a little irritated with the mayor's condescending attitude, and he's going to tell her about it and demand a little respect. Let's watch.
Okay, so my discussion for that is we definitely need security cameras for Village Hall, which we talked about all these items in the CAL. So I don't understand why anything is being excluded because you all agreed in the CAL to move forward. As relates to the floors for Village Hall, we had a line item to remodel Village Hall. So again, I don't understand why items are being excluded. So do anybody want to, well, I guess since you made the motion, is there anybody that wants to do that?
Yeah, there's no, we have some questions about the spending and the money and how it's being spent, period. You know, it's not like we're just coming out the clear blue with nothing. This is the reason. We have some more questions, and when we get them questions answered, we'll move forward with it. Thank you.
Okay, so just so people are clear on how board meetings work, you're supposed to get your answers before we get here so we're not back and forth. And then you could have asked those questions. You had an extra week before it came up for another vote, which is today, Friday, to get them answered. If it's something you need answered as related to the money, Chris is here on this chat. Do you want to ask Chris what account is coming out of? What is your question, trustee?
No, I do not. And for the record, stop saying if y'all don't know. You were a trustee for 8 years. You did the same thing for 8 years. How you wonderfully forget this stuff. You wonderfully forget how much you argued about stuff that you could have handled behind closed doors. We just have a question about the funding. That is it. That is it. It's not like we don't know. And again, you talking about let's call, you keep on throwing out these disrespectful shots at everybody. Y'all don't know. Y'all need to learn. You need to learn, Mayor. And you need to start being more respectful. You got to stop that and then say, let's work together. It'll never work. It'll never work. With the tone you're taking right now. Never. And moving forward, I have more questions. We all have more questions about this. So it'll be taped. We won't vote on this right now, and we'll get the questions answered, and then we'll come back to it. Thank you.
I love it. How do you wonderfully forget this stuff? That was pretty good. Ed Steves wasn't having it. So did you hear some statements made by the mayor that you hear her say at each and every meeting in that last clip? Did you hear those? I did. Post a few of those in the comments that you heard, some of the common statements. Let's get a list going. And I want you to pay attention to even more common one-liners in this next final clip. Let's roll it.
So as relates to me being a trustee, yes, I have several questions as I was a trustee. But guess what, Trustee Steves? When you know better, you do better. So all I'm trying to do is teach you the route of how things should be managed. But you don't want to learn. You guys want to come here and always grandstand about whatever it is. As relates to getting things done, one thing in the past, and you know, the ex-mayor used to say, things do not get done because trustees drag their feet. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. If we all agree to remodel Village Hall, let's finish it. Don't keep dragging it or kicking the can down the road. We just did the parking lot. We just did the sidewalks. We just did the roofs. We just painted Village Hall. So now you guys want in-person meetings, but you want people to come in here to this filthy carpet. This air is bad. Even the clerk understands what I'm saying because she wanted to move her office. So what I'm saying to you is, let's fix the problem so the employees are in a safe and healthy environment, but we're not doing that. We keep on kicking the can down the road like we do with everything else. It will never get completed. That is my concern with why you guys keep changing your mind. The floors need to be done. The carpet needs to be picked up. Other than that, we can bring a company in to clean the carpet, but guess what? That will take a minute and then it has to dry. And then you have that little sour smell in Village Hall. All I'm saying, you guys, we got to make decisions. We can't keep kicking the can down the road. So with that being said, Clerk Key, call the roll so we can move forward.
There's a sour smell, all right, and it ain't the carpet. All right, so more statements heard that we hear repeated at each and every meeting, such as, when you know better, you do better. Y'all don't want to learn. Y'all trustees are always grandstanding. And then she actually references the ex-mayor with this one. Things don't get done because trustees drag their feet. But she bashed the ex-mayor during his entire tenure. That's kind of interesting. So she mentioned she wants a safe and healthy environment for her employees. That's very noble indeed. But side note, a comment that she made about the clerk wanting to move her office was not true. And after this little segment, the clerk actually chimes in and corrects her, saying that she wanted to move her office because she needed more space for a new assistant that was going to be hired. Anyhow, she mentioned getting things done, and that is also commendable. You know, we want to get the offices remodeled. We want to get other things fixed. She talked about the parking lots, the sidewalks, the roofs, and in other meetings, tree trimming. Now, here's a good question. How many of these contracts, parking lots, sidewalks, roofs, how many were run through the RFP process for competitive bid? I wonder what would happen if someone went back to investigate each and every one of these contracts to see what percentage actually went through the legal process. Or wait, as the mayor stated herself, to follow protocol and formality across the board. Ooh, I think that's a good one to end this episode on. As a matter of fact, I vote that we adjourn this video presentation. Carter roll. This is Carlton, and I am out.